So I wanted to do a video on the communication cables for putting 4 of these EG4 3000 watt inverters with the ability to get 12,000 watts output. So I discussed before that these are 12,000 watt grow watts, but you can't get anywhere close to that because you'll burn up the boards quick, and they say it'll greatly reduce the life, but you can replace the boards in these. Can't do it in those, but you can in these. And you can buy these online, the spare boards for these. But these are only 150 volt DC solar panel PV input. These are 500, much more efficient, a lot easier. These will last you a long time. I just started playing with these, so I hope these will last me a long time. So anyways, I want to talk to you about wiring up the support for parallel split phase 120/240. And if you do 2 of them, it's right here. If you do 4 down here, it's right here. So the way that this diagram shows, I'm sorry, right down here, is so on this line right here, for this 3 right here, you're gonna have to follow this line over, and it goes up into this one. And for this bottom one down here, you're gonna follow this line over, and it goes up to this one. They have these dotted lines here because you can do a lot more than just 4 of these. So they have that where it would actually follow the same process. So anyways, we're gonna start out with the 1. If you notice, there's a 1, a 2, and an N2, N1. And on here, we have P1, P1, N1, P2, P2, N2. So you got the P1, P2, N2, N1. So we're going to make this a little bit easier. Instead of having 4 all yellow cables for this, what I did was I have a black cable and a white cable that you're able to see. It's a different color cable on every one of these. So we'll start with this P1 over here. On the top here, we have, on the side, you have 2 communication ports. So on the top one, we have the white one, and that white one goes all the way over from the top spot over there to the bottom spot right here. So top on this one for P1, and it goes over to P2, and it's going to go in the bottom. Now the bottom one on this P1 is going to go right here, and it's actually going to go into P1, N1. So the bottom on this P1 is going to go into P1, N1 on the bottom. On the top right there. So they're always the opposite. If it's on the bottom, it's going to be on the top when it goes in the next inverter. If it's on the top, it's going to go into the bottom. So just kind of keep that in mind. So we got the white one going from P1 right here to P2, and then we have the bottom wire, which is yellow, on the P1 going into the top of the P1 N1. Then on the second one, P1 N1, we've got the black wire on the bottom, and that's going to come down here into this P2 N2, and it's going to the top. Once again, the black wire is on the bottom, so it's going to go in the top, and the inverter it goes to. And then the last wire we have is the yellow wire here on the bottom one of this one, on the P2 N2, goes right up to the P2, and it's going to go in the top. So it's in the top of the P2, so it has to go in the bottom of the P2 N2. With that, you have all 4 of these communicating in parallel. Now what I'm doing right now is I actually have all 4 of these inverters on, and they're splitting the load between the 4 inverters. They're kind of not equally split for some reason, but they're doing a pretty decent job. For one of the inverters tends to take a lot. This one down here, for some reason, seems to be more, but so this one is 1.45 kilowatts. That one up there is 1.26. This one's 1.37, and this one's 1.2. So a little difference from the 1.2 to 1.45, but not a real big difference. I mean, it was a huge difference the other day. It was like 1.6 over here and 800 over there. So it was 1600 watts here and like half over there. So somehow it's kind of evened out right now. So that's good. That's what you want. You want an even split on all 4. Now, I can take and I can switch off 2 of these inverters. Remember, you got P1, P1, P2, P2. So I can either do the P1 and P2 or the P1 N1, P2 N2. And I'm going to switch this off for a second. So we're at 1.27 on this. So when I switch this off and I switch this one off, so I just switched this one off and this one off, I'm still running my loads, but you can see the load on there, there's no more output right here. The load on there is 0, and the load down here, there's no output, is 0. Now this has gone up to 2.72, it's doubled, and this has gone to 2.5. So we're running the load between this one and this one. So, and if I wanted to, I could turn this one, those 2 back on, let them get the output, and then I could actually shut those 2 down. What's nice about that is at nighttime, I don't need all 4 of these running. I'm running them during the day because I have the input coming in here while I'm running this load. Go get these set up to show the inputs on those. They got the input and then the input with the battery of what's going, actually charging the battery, and I'm going to put it on input. So right here, we're pretty much maxing out at 2.98 kilowatts. We're only bringing in 200, I don't know, right around 200 on that one. And we're bringing in 2.45 kilowatts here, and we're only bringing in 230. Now, if I were to turn these back on, remember this was 245, watch when I turn it back on, it drops down a little bit. See it dropping down? So now this, which was only a little bit, is bumped back up again. Now we're up at 1.37 kilowatts. Up here, 1.27 kilowatts. And this was at almost 3 kilowatts, so it's dropped down. So during the day when I'm running this, whether I have all 4 of them running or I just have 2 of them running, but they're all on with solar input, it'll split the load between the 2 that you have on, and then you'll have a light amount of watts coming in on the other one. So it is running exceptionally well. I'm not having any problems at all with this. And it was 110 or 111 degrees out yesterday, and it's 110 right now, 2 o'clock in the afternoon almost. And we have the garage is around 78 degrees, and that's only because we just pulled this hot car in about a half hour ago, and that heated up the garage a little bit. But it being 110 degrees out, we're at 78 in the garage. I'll take that. So, and And we're right around 73 degrees upstairs, 72 degrees downstairs. And like I just said, 78 degrees in the garage. When it's 110 degrees out, I'll take that any day. So we are actually running our 18,000 BTU off of just this one. And then we're actually just running one mini split off of this one because everything else is wired in this panel. So I could turn on all my mini splits right now. I have enough power coming in to turn on the 2 mini splits upstairs. I already have the 2 mini splits going downstairs. I have the upstairs main air conditioner going, and then I also have this garage going. The only one I don't have going is the master bedroom mini split and the main air conditioner for downstairs. But yesterday I had all of them running, and I was just a little shy of being able to run them all at the same time and still charge my batteries. So that's huge to run the 2 air conditioners that came with the house, a 3.5 ton and a 4 ton, and then to be able to run those 2 mini splits upstairs, 2 mini splits downstairs, and a mini split in the garage, all off of this is huge. So anyways, all 4 of those running, and those are all running into this 200 amp panel that I have. And here's the 3.5 ton down here, and I have the 4 ton on the opposite side, trying to balance the loads out a little bit. But it is really, really running nice. I had it 8,500 watts output a little bit ago, and I can go up to 12,000 watts, but I need to swipe some panels off of these 2 inverters to be able to get, because I can do 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. So I can do 20,000 watts on these 4 inverters to get 3,000 watts out of each one of them. So I have 4,000 watts on this one, and we're able to get over 3,000 watts output on that. And then this one I got as high as 2.85 kilowatts. So I almost got to 3,000, and that's on the 330 watt panels out there. I only have 12 of them. If I had another 2, I could hit my 3,000 watt output on that. So I got to try and find, and those are used, so I'm going to see if I can try and find some used ones on that to add those into there. I could put another 2 on each array. I've got 6 and 6 in series, and then I parallel those together. So I could actually go 8 and 8 on those, I believe. And then this one over here, this one is only 2,000 watts connected to it. So I need to connect another 3,000 watts to this. And this one right here is actually 16 solar panels. So I have 4,000 watts connected to that. And I think I've gotten this one up to 2.25 kilowatts. That one was actually at 2,000 watts. I was at, with used solar panels, I was actually up to 1.8 kilowatts. I was really surprised that I was able to get 1.8 kilowatts out of those used solar panels. So I need to hook up another 3,000 there. I need to hook up another 1,000 here. Another 4 solar panels on that, and that one's already good. I could actually hook up another 1,000 watts, but I'm already getting my 3,000 watts out of it. So it's really not going to do me any good to connect any more on that. So those are really running nice. And I don't know if you saw my other video, but I have all my positive breakers to shut my inverters down from the batteries, all in this box right here. And then I have all of my solar panel breakers to shut the solar off on all 4 inverters right there. So we kind of cleaned it up. The only cable we have is for this panel right here, running across right there and going from the output of this, going over there. We cleaned up all that other stuff. And then we'll need to get, I'm waiting to get 1 more of these batteries, and then we'll get a 6 slot server rack, and we'll be able to put all those in there. And that'll give us 6 of those will be 30.6 kilowatt hours that we'll have in there, and that should fit nicely Should fit right about up to here on there, so we should be good with that. And 2 server rack batteries on that one, 2 on that, and that keeps, all of these are completely fully charged right now at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And the only set that I use overnight is this one right here. If I actually wanted to, I could take this extra set of cable right here, connect it over this bus bar, and I could connect these two so I could have 35.7 kilowatt hours on this battery bank. But I really don't need it. Last night, I ran the air conditioner. It was 110 degrees last night. Yesterday, and I believe it was still in the 90s by like 9 or 10 o'clock. And my battery state of charge on 5 batteries was like 52%. So I still had 32% to go to get down to 20% where it shuts off. Fine. So anyways, got all the wire cleaned up. This is all one system right here. This is one system right there. And then this is one system right here. And we're going to be taking our Victron Energy Bluetooth off of this and put it over on this one so we can see what we're doing, because this is going to be our main one. We're eventually going to be swiping some solar panels from these 2 inverters to go over here so we can actually get our 12 kilowatt output out of that. And we would be able to run we'd be able to run everything except for the pool. We could either run the pool heater or run all these other things. The washer, dryer, 4-ton, living room mini split, those outlets right there, the 3.5 ton. This one I just wired up, and I'm trying to remember where I ran that to. Oh, I ran that to a plug. I ran that to a plug right down there. You can see the black cord plugged into it. And then we have a bedroom mini split and the patio mini split, and then the other side of the outlet. So this is one breaker, and this was another breaker. So we still have extra. This is extra. This is extra. This is extra. This is extra. So we got all these slots, but we could add more stuff in there. With this 12,000 watt output, we could put that on this, and that red cord over there is a mini split. We could put that on. We could have the 2 upstairs mini splits, 2 downstairs mini splits, that mini split, and then the 3.5 ton upstairs and the 4 ton downstairs. We'd be able to run them all at the same time once we bring all this in, because these have no problem starting up the 3.5 ton or 4 ton. They start them up with ease. And the only thing I see is the this light over here and this light right here is on this wireless switch, and it's wired into the panels over here. And that light, when it goes to start the 3.5 ton or 4 ton, will just flicker for a second, and I know that it just started up, which I really kind of like that, because I can tell, because these don't make any sound at all. I mean, these would make sounds at first before I put the soft starts on, but when I start them, even with just 2 of these before I had all 4, wouldn't even make a sound when it started up. I'd have to look at the output over here. I'd have to look at the watts right there to see if it started up or not, because it wouldn't make any sound, and it still doesn't make any sound. Anyways, that's how you wire that up for the communication if you want to do 4 of these in parallel. And you know, at 500 or not, actually these were refurbished and these are brand new, and I'm not having any problem with any of them. So these are 674 right now. And these are like 574. So pretty good deal. That two of these, and they give you basically everything you need in there for the communication to parallel these together. You don't have to buy any extra kits like I did with my MPP inverters. I had to buy extra stuff to be able to do that. And the only thing extra that I really had to buy was the breakers here. I bought 20 amp DC breakers for my input from my solar so that I would be able to keep my solar input below 20 amps on this. But they gave me all the breakers over here for the batteries. So all you have to do is the electrical wiring. So, and you can see, I tried to do it pretty easy so you could see where the battery terminals are coming and going in, and also where the solar is running over here. You can follow and trace that. And then you can see the output. See where it says in there, it says AC out right there in the middle. It's line and neutral. So you can see where the AC goes out and then goes into the breaker panel. And I ran all four of those separately in there so that you would be able to see that. And I tried to do it as neat as possible, but it's pretty well protected. I don't have any of the battery cables touching any of my solar. Tried to keep it where they were touching each other. Not that I really need to, but just as a safety precaution. But when I was setting it up more so you could trace the wires if you were trying to do something like this, to be able to do that. We're going to, when I get a server rack battery, or server rack, we're gonna put these all on one. Right now I have two Anderson 175 amp. These two batteries right here on one of those going to the bus bar, and then the other three down there going to the bus bar. They're a little different on the voltages. Those will charge faster than these two, but this top one up here is the master, and then that's a slave, and then the three in there are slaves behind it. So you got that master battery right there. So, but they're all within pretty close, tight tolerance, maybe 0.4, 0.5 of an amp from the bottom battery to the top battery. But once I put them all five in parallel, I would have the negative, maybe on the negatives on this side, I'd have negative down there, and then a positive on this fifth battery. Or I could have the positive down there, and then negative on the top of this fifth battery. So I'm gonna go top, bottom, or top, bottom. So either way you want to do it, doesn't matter. And then you're just running also I have this yellow wire as a communication cable coming from my battery, my master battery right there, going down into the batteries for the battery communication. So, and then out of that master battery right here, I have the communication cable to go up here so that when I do this, I can see my amp hours and amp hours right here, and then percent state of charge right there. And I can look on my battery right here, and you can see that we're at, let's see if I can get out of that glare right there. 99% state of charge, and it's on standby right now. So these are extremely quiet, the fans. If I were to shut these, well, I'll shut them down. Turn my air conditioners off for a sec. Still running the fan on this. Shut our solar, shut our battery down so we can completely shut down. There we go. Now, without those running, can you tell how quiet those are compared to those grow watts? It sounds like a fan running, like an oscillating fan running in my garage compared to these over here. They're just really loud compared to that. But these are, oops, turn my battery back on, my solar, and get those to boot back up again. There they go, they're booting up. Turn these back on, and we'll get that air conditioning running again. There we go. Anyways, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And I'll put links in the description down below. And we are an affiliate with Signature Solar, and that's where we bought all of our stuff. All those breakers. These came from Amazon, the breakers for the solar, because they didn't have small breakers like that with just 20 amps. And then all the batteries, the battery cabinet. So, and all the wires, all of these black and red battery cables came with the inverters. And so did the communication cables. The white one didn't come with it. But instead of using that white one down here, I used that white one up there so that I could illustrate and show you that wiring for the parallel of all 4 inverters. So pretty nice little deal. I mean, I think those were like $14 a piece or something like that. And then these were like 12 or 13 bucks. And I got the covers for them, but I left them off so you can see. And I've got the covers laying right there for the inverters. But I just want you to see how easy this is. Positive and negative on the battery cable, positive and negative on the solar, and then you're actually the line out, and then the neutral, and then you have your ground down here. You ground all of your inverters on the line out, and that goes into your panel, and you'll use that ground to go into your ground bus bar in your panel. So pretty nice little setup. Like I said, they're really quiet. These are back on, those grow watts, and like I said, you can hear them running, but they're a quiet fan compared to those grow watts. So anyways, if you do click on the link and purchase something through the link at Signature Solar, we get a small portion of that sale, and we appreciate that because we have to buy this stuff, and in order to buy it, we have to be able to have some money to buy it. So we appreciate it anytime you buy it through those links, and then we can do these videos and show you what they do. And I'm impressed. These 4 high frequency inverters that weigh 18 pounds each versus 186 pounds each over there are able to run the same things that those can run. So 12,000 watt, supposed to be 12,000 watt output, but it surges to 36,000 watts, actually a little higher. But I've never seen these small inverters like this be able to be in parallel and be able to start those big loads on those air conditioners. That's just insane. They'll easily start the mini splits because they slowly ramp up in the watts and amps. But when you have all 4 of these on, you have 50 amps of inrush coming off all those. You have 200 amps of inrush shared off of those 4. That's insane. When I just had the 2, I had 150 amps of inrush on each one. And it just easily starts that AC out there. It's just insane that those can even do that. Anyways, hope you have a truly wonderful and extremely blessed day. See you in the next video.